The government made more concessions after sitting down for talks with opposition groups on Sunday. But the Muslim Brotherhood, the largest party in attendance, tells Al Jazeera it's reviewing its decision to take part in the discussions. And of course, you can keep up to date with all the news that we're following just by heading over to our website. You can see there the top story. The situation in Egypt following the failure of talks to reach a conclusion with the government. aljazeera.net/English. We'll have more at the top of the hour, right after Witness. Stay with us here on Al Jazeera.
Hello and welcome to Witness. I'm Sama El-Shahat. From Tahrir Square in Cairo to the Corniche in Alexandria, all over Egypt, thousands of people have taken to the streets and to the airwaves to protest against Hosni Mubarak's government. Blogs, Twitter, Facebook and mobile phone footage have all played some part in mobilizing the crowds and getting messages to the wider world. And this, despite a draconian crackdown on media and an unprecedented blackout of the internet by the authorities. In today's Witness, we look back at a film we made 4 years ago when bloggers were relatively few and new. But back then, they were already making waves and paying a high price. Here they are, back in 2007, sowing the seeds of today's multimedia uprising, blogging on the Nile.
Egypt has two faces. One is of a Western ally, heading slowly but surely towards democratic reform. The other is of an authoritarian regime, which beats, kidnaps and tortures any opposition. Welcome to Egypt, where emergency law has been in place for 25 years, and in the past 2 months alone, there have been over 600 arrests of pro-reform protesters. But there are powerful new players in the opposition movement, whose efforts on the street are backed by the worldwide reach of the web. Egypt's government is finding that the usual intimidation tactics aren't working on a younger, net-savvy generation of activists who feel the time for change has come.
الفكرة مش الخوف من كتاب الدون بس. الخوف من كتاب الدون وتنزل الشارع.
والضرب والإهانة وكل الحاجات دي بقت حاجة بتجرى لأي حد، مش للناس اللي شغالة في السياسة بس. فإن إحنا نخاف ونبطل مش هيفرق أي حاجة.
It's very difficult to know that your friend is being beaten right now and you feel helpless about it.
One night in Cairo, two very different perspectives. At Cairo's Opera House, Egypt's elite were out in force on the red carpet, celebrating the premiere of a new film. The Yakubine building's depiction of an Egypt that featured homosexuality, police brutality and government corruption was always going to be controversial. But for the stars of the film, it was proof of Egypt's growing democracy. In the less glamorous world of open dissent, we were to discover another perspective on Egypt's democracy. As Manal Hussein welcomed us into her home, it was clear that films were far from her mind. Manal spends most nights on the phone or on the web, updating the site she maintains with her husband Ala. Manala.net, a combination of both their names, started off as a space to post their thoughts and photos, as well as provide technical support for other Egyptian bloggers. But since their involvement in the pro-reform movement, the site has become a platform for dissent, Alaa's blogs have been appearing less frequently since he was arrested 6 weeks ago during a demonstration. Demonstrations are illegal under Egypt's emergency law.
دخلوا اختاروا ناس معينين خدوهم. خدوا 11 واحد. خدوهم وغموهم. يعني غموا عينيهم عشان ما يعرفوش هم رايحين فين. أمن الدولة قدمت لهم اتهامات منها إهانة رئيس الجمهورية وتعطيل المرور. هم طبعا كانوا 30 واحد وحواليهم آلاف العساكر بس هم اللي كانوا معطلين المرور.
Despite being in prison, Alaa continued to blog, managing to smuggle out his notes.
Today it hit me. I'm really in prison. I'd say prison is not like I expected, but I had no expectations. No images, not even fears, nothing.
إنها كسرت حاجز الخوف عند ناس كتير لأن هم دلوقتي عارفين تفاصيل الحاجات اللي بتجرى بجد. يعني دخول السجن مش مخوفنا، لا ما هنكمل. التعذيب والضرب والإهانة وكل الحاجات دي بقت حاجة بتجرى لأي حد مش للناس اللي شغالة في السياسة بس. فإن احنا نخاف ونبطل مش هيفرق أي حاجة، لكن إن احنا نعرف الناس اللي بيجرى ممكن يفرق.
What if Hosni dies while I'm in jail? He is old and senile enough, and I'm sure millions are actively praying for his death. Normally I'd be happy, but now that I'm in jail, it's a scary thought. It would take no less than 3 months for the dust to settle. Most likely no one but immediate family will remember us until it's over. Screw democracy. Keep the guy on ice until I'm released.
أنا كنت خايفة من التأثير بتاع السجن عليه، لكن الموضوع إن هو لسه بيعمل نفس الحاجات أو بيحاول يعمل نفس الحاجات اللي كان بيعملها وهو بره، بيكتب بنفس الطريقة، فيها شوية تريقة، فيها شوية كده طريقة ساعات بتبقى حادة شوية. بحس أكتر إن هو معايا لما بقرا الكلام بتاعه اللي هو بيكتبه، إن هو لسه بيتكلم بنفس الطريقة.
Tomorrow, Manal finds out if Alaa will be released or whether he'll be spending another 2 weeks in prison.
قلقانة يعني كمان لأني مش عارفة أبطل ما أفكرش إن هو في احتمال كبير يطلع، ومش عايزة أمني نفسي إن هو طالع، لأن في احتمال كبير برضو إن هو ما يطلعش. احتمال كبير يبقى وصلنا كمان 15 يوم ويمكن أكتر. هنام لأن أنا تعبانة قوي. هنام لأني ما عنديش مشكلة في النوم. كان عندي مشكلة في النوم أول ما اتمسك. بس دلوقتي من كتر التعب خلاص أول ما بحط جسمي على السرير بنام.
The Egyptian blogosphere is a small but growing community that is playing an important role in the opposition movement. Alaa's arrest attracted attention from bloggers around the world, and websites were created calling for his release. Political observers have now begun to take the bloggers and their approach more seriously.
Through blogs, Egyptians abroad and other activists abroad get to know about what's going on. And this is how we create international solidarity and pressure on the Egyptian regime. And this is the indirect effect of the blogs. And then there is a direct dimension or impact to what they're doing, which is the fact that they can attract a lot of younger people that we haven't been able to attract through traditional means.
One blogger who certainly let people know what he's doing is Malik Mustafa Muhammad, whose blog is named after another outspoken figure, Malcolm X. Newly released from prison, Malik was amongst a selection of bloggers invited to speak at a media conference broadcast live around the Arab world. Responding to criticisms of his actions, Malik fearlessly went on the attack.
عسكري بيسلمنا عسكري بيسلمنا عسكري ملك انا مش هخش في 25 سنه في هذا عصور الديمقراطيه وفي الاخر اتقبض على 16 واحد مع الرصيد. طيب لا انا وبيتعذب ناس وبيعتدى عليهم جنسيا، وانا مش فاهم اي تشويه لصوره مصر واي مصر. مش قادر افهم بجد. اساس بنكتب ومورين وشوشنا ومورين اسامينا ومورين تليفوناتنا ومورين ايميلاتنا واحنا اهو. فاحنا قدرنا نكسر حاجز الكلام، بس بقى كلام وحركه. فده سبب لهم نوع من الخوف ان احنا
مش خايفين يعني، مش مهتمين. هتعمل بيها انا ايه يعني؟ ورينا اسوأ ما عندك يعني، وبعدين.
It's an age thing. They're young, they're out there, and they think that the more courage they have, the shorter the period of struggle will be. And the other thing is that they haven't been politicized for such a long time, so they aren't very aware of the risks that's out there.